My name is Jamie, and my family is sharing our experience because too many veterans and their families suffer in silence, and silence only protects systems, not people. What we found raised serious concerns for our family. I wasn't going to do this. But I'm out of options. So here goes. This is an account of what we lived through during my husband's treatment with Dr. Cheek, a psychologist at the Department of Veterans Affairs, and what we later discovered only after his care with her ended abruptly and without proper transition. When my husband began therapy, he did so openly and with trust. He asked for help, engaged honestly in treatment, and expected the kind of structured, clinically sound care that veterans are promised. At the time treatment was occurring, we had no reason to access his clinical documentation, and we did not yet know the full extent of issues that would later come to light. From our perspective, treatment appeared increasingly destabilizing. Sessions often focused intensely on traumatic material without grounding or safety planning, and we observed growing emotional volatility at home. Still, we assumed, as most people do, that his provider was documenting appropriately and following standard clinical procedures. It was only after his care was abruptly terminated during a period of clear emotional deterioration that we gained access to the underlying therapy notes and began to understand why things had escalated the way they did. What we found raised serious concerns for our family. Based on the documentation that we later reviewed, our concerns include the absence of crisis or safety planning despite escalating symptoms, progress notes that appeared incomplete, generic, or inaccurate, significant delays in clinical signatures, therapeutic approaches that in our experience seemed to leave him more destabilized after sessions, an abrupt termination of care during a period of heightened emotional risk without what we would consider an adequate transition plan. These observations are not accusations of intent, nor are they claims of fact about wrongdoing. They are the concerns we formed after reviewing her notes, comparing them to our lived experience, and consulting with other mental health professionals about what we witnessed. The consequences for our family were not discovered in hindsight. We lived them in real time. What was discovered in hindsight after we obtained the documentation was the clinical context that helped explain why his condition had worsened so dramatically during treatment. After treatment ended, we pursued every available channel responsibly and in good faith. We reported our concerns to the VA. We filed referrals with the Office of the Inspector General and with the Government Accountability Office. We filed a HIPAA complaint related to privacy concerns. We submitted a licensing complaint. And we filed a Federal Tort Claims Act, FTCA, claim with extensive supporting evidence. The VA denied that claim. A denial does not mean nothing happened. It simply marks the end of the administrative phase. Our next step, which we intend to pursue, is federal court, where evidence, testimony, and documentation are evaluated under oath and reviewed against the applicable standards of care. We are sharing our story publicly, not to defame or harass Dr. Cheek, and not to assign motives we cannot know. We are sharing this because of what happened to our family, and this should not ever happen to anyone, and because veterans deserve clinical care that prioritizes safety, documentation, continuity, and ethical practice. Our commitment is to transparency, to veteran safety, and to systemic reform. Speaking publicly is part of our healing, part of our accountability journey, and part of ensuring that what we discovered after termination does not remain hidden or misunderstood. This is our experience. These are our documented concerns, and this is the truth as we lived and later uncovered it.